Oi, Baratnas, where are you? If you're listening, this is the Expanse podcast. What do we call it? Remember the Cant. I tried to remember it. See what I did there? Okay.
Everything is planned.
Yes,
Nothing is
Everything, every
accidental.
single
all
dialogue,
scripted.
everything is scripted. Absolutely. We're going to discuss the episode from season two. I forgot the number. Fifth one called Home. And it's a fantastic episode. I loved it, loved it, loved it. So, with me, I have my co hosts, Sumit and Parvati. Say hello, folks.
Hey,
Hey, Sasake.
Kasake. Hey,
This,
there's even a bad gesture by
yeah,
drummer. Yeah,
yep,
she
yep.
does that. Looks like Spock's peace
yeah,
symbol, but
Vulcan
yeah,
salute.
Vulcan
yeah,
salute, but yeah, offense taken.
yeah. It's a
Okay.
vulgar Vulcan.
Vulgar Vulcan, yes. But we better not show it here since we have 1.5 viewers. We don't want to scare them off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't bring another franchise.
Exactly.
Okay, here's then we can have an inset here. You go listen to Podcast Enterprise for the Vulcan,
Yeah,
true Vulcan salute.
Yeah.
true Vulcan salute.
Shameless plug. Available
All
on a
scripted
on a
again.
YouTube channel near you. All right. So, Parvati, what did you think about Home?
I thought this was very intense. I really enjoyed it. I had a bit of trouble with the ending because it seemed a little bit choppy, but up to that point, it was pretty scary. It was very intense. It was very graphic also because you have Miller going down looking for Julie and you have the protomolecule floating all over the place. And then you eventually find Julie again, which I thought was a very interesting way of showing it. And I really liked how Avasarala was shown in this episode. She was
Hmm.
very level headed, very cool. And that interaction that she had with her husband was
Hmm.
also very well portrayed because you showed her with emotion for the first time, actual emotion. She was feeling things and she was ready to sacrifice herself, which was also an interesting take on her character. And there was some confusion with Fred Johnson and Holden and all of them attempting to contact the UN and following the following Eros as it moved away. I thought all of those were really well shown. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was, and having that major character demise was also quite poignant in this episode.
Hmm.
So it was intense, it was gripping, and I really didn't know where it was going next. I liked
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Sumit, what
So,
about you?
one of the best episodes of the show. And I think the show overall, as far as I remember, this is one of the best episodes. And this is where the book also ends. The first
Yes.
book ends.
Yes.
Yes.
And this episode was used as an elevator pitch. I learned from the IMDb trivia. Like when they used to talk to producers and executives, they used to just pitch this particular episode and the visuals of this to, and for good reasons. This is a spectacle. This is what the show is all about
Mhm.
the humanity of it, and also the scale, the expanse of space. It's beautiful. I love the episode thoroughly.
Yes, I liked it too. I think, I mean, most of the points you guys covered. I felt that this should have been the ending for season one itself. And I then later found out that this is the ending of the book. Made sense to me because it sort of has a nice ending with a satin bow at the end with the resolution of all the arcs that we've seen from the start
Yeah,
of season one. So, including the even the minor characters like Diogo having a tattoo
tattoo.
done. He's
Mhm.
completely OPA now, and he can see. So, all I mean, everything is there. All the confusion, the mayhem, and the suffering that the Rossi crew goes through, just for the sake of the entire 20 billion or whatever number of population of Earth
Yeah,
is at the time. That's beautifully brought about. The technology, the like you said, the visuals, the protomolecule, and what you see, what we remember the Blue Falcon and what it is today. It's what a transformation. You can see the whole thing, and yeah, it had to end with an explosion like
bang.
that. I would have rather seen it live rather than to a through a TV clipping like that. I would rather
Mm,
I would have liked it to end Eros, plunging into Venus, full screen, full scale, than what the clipping that they showed us. That sort of took away the intensity of that ending. That I guess
Yeah.
that's why Parvati also said ending felt flat. I think for me that's technically the reason that it didn't work. But I
Yes.
understand the ending now. It's nice.
That also leaves you with some hope that it's, I don't know, that because we see it through a screen, there is some hope, even though we saw an asteroid crash onto a planet. There is some hope somehow the protomolecule are saved because we did not see it up
Yeah.
close save these guys. But it's not possible. But protomolecule is able to do impossible things.
Correct.
Yeah.
And of course, I think I spotted a couple of plot holes also. We'll discuss that. But overall, I was like, this is one of the, I mean, I understand now why they're pitching this as the key episode, because I think this is one of the reasons why I kept going back to this series also. The unexpected, the unexplained, and human emotions rooted in, I mean, sorry, seeped in human emotions. That's a nice part of it.
Yeah.
So it starts off with, first for me was a big confusion that I saw is that now Eros seems to be heading sunward, or maybe that's now I know it's okay. Now I know the answer to that. Where I wrote down saying, isn't that what Now was supposed to do? Isn't Eros doing exactly what Now wanted it to do? Right. So then why is it heading sunward? Apparently it's not. It's heading towards
It's
the
not
Earth.
sunward. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that answers that question. In fact, it was answered right at the end of the scene. Now you know. Okay, now I
It
know.
was answered pretty quickly, I think. As soon as Miller started descending towards the interior of Eros, it was made pretty obvious that it was going towards Earth and not the sun.
Yeah.
So it had changed trajectory to go towards Earth.
Right.
Nauru is still on course to go to the sun, right? Because it missed Eros, so it's probably going in the same direction, right?
It is
Nobody's
going
worried
full
about
speed.
Now, dude.
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
I think we'll know in the
I
next
think they
episode.
bring it back
Yeah.
Yes,
somehow.
they do. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
For the moment, I think it's just gone off in a straight line away.
Yeah.
So we didn't even show up on the radar screens, did it? We didn't see it.
No,
We
we
only
didn't
saw
see it at
Eros.
all. It's
So they're not concerned
just
with
a
that right
brief
now.
mention of it
Yeah.
somewhere. I don't know.
It's
That's
just
the thing.
galloped away and gone off. So
Oh yeah,
we
there,
didn't
there
see
was
it.
the Mormons at Salt Lake City getting pissed off, and that's
Yes.
what we hear about now.
I like
Yeah.
how succinctly that was put, because they said he stole the ship. He threw us out and he stole the ship, and that's at the end. They lost the
Finally,
ship.
they get the message.
Yes.
Yeah. And Fred Johnson was claiming engine test on the Nauru.
We're doing target practice.
Yes, target practice. Let's blow up heroes with the
throwing
Nauvoo.
throwing ships at asteroids.
Yeah.
That's what we do best. Belters, we excel at
Yeah.
that.
So now that
I
we
think,
know that it
yeah.
was the unconscious Julie who was controlling the ship, controlling the asteroid. So how did she move when Nauvoo was hitting it? Like, did she know? Well, she has access to the radar systems of the asteroid too, I
Did
guess.
you see the connections to her, dude? She's so well wired.
Yeah.
So it's like, I assume it's like the Matrix, right? So everything is connected, hooked everywhere, that she's
Yeah.
able to now extend her senses.
I
The
think her
gravity question was
consciousness.
also
Yeah.
answered.
Yeah,
Which one?
somewhat. The
Last
gravity.
week we asked, right, how does the gravity on the ship work?
Oh yeah,
So
that's
it
true.
was spinning.
It was
Eros is a
spinning.
spinning station, so that's why the gravity worked. But the spinning stopped, but the gravity is still in effect because of protomolecule magic.
Protomolecule. That's like magic. Because
Yeah, because
Convenient.
because
It's the convenience of the protomolecule
yeah,
plot device.
yes.
yeah,
I think her consciousness was essentially uploaded onto Eros station. So she is basically the station. And
yeah. The seed
whatever
Yeah.
crystal.
yes, as a seed crystal. And basically that form she had was created by the protomolecule. It doesn't really understand the human psyche. That's another thing. Because she was able to wake up, which I don't think the protomolecule anticipated it. It has infected humans. It has taken control of the station. It has gotten her to do something, but it has really no control over what humans do. It doesn't
Yeah.
understand that much.
it probably doesn't want to go to Earth or doesn't have the concept
Mm.
of what Earth or other sentient life is probably.
Yeah, it doesn't it seems to be a very logical, mechanical kind of organism that works in a cluster, and it doesn't
Yeah.
understand how probably humanity operates on an individual basis, and it doesn't understand consciousness as such. So
It is able
it,
to create a facsimile of life,
yeah,
like how it
correct.
did with the
Yeah, with
bird
the hand
Yeah,
thingy.
and that who's the spy?
Kenzo.
Kenzo,
Kenzo.
Kenzo's image it created and
Yeah,
then
Yes.
ate him whole. Uh,
Mimics well, but it doesn't really
yeah.
understand what it mimics.
I'm going to bring a reference of another Star Trek original third season episode, Lights of Zeta. Don't watch it, please. But one of the things that they talk about in that is the exact psychological profile match. And that's why they chose this person. So that's the explanation they have in that episode. Why the aliens choose this person, because they have a perfect psychological match. That, of course,
hmm,
Spock figures out in that episode. Maybe it is Julie's psychological profile of, I don't know, being a spoiled rich brat, runaway kid, but believes in the OPA, believes in a cause, led
hmm.
Could
the
be.
Protomolecule to identify and said, "Ooh, we are like that too." And then maybe there was like that. I don't know.
To me,
Or
it seemed
probably is
like it
the
just, yeah, I don't actually, to me, it felt like it picked her out at random and it
yeah.
got more than it bargained for with her.
But she was not the first person infected by it. The
Yes.
people on
She,
what was the station Phoebe?
Anubis.
No,
Anubis.
no.
Oh,
Before
Phoebe
Anubis.
first. Yeah, Phoebe
yeah.
first.
People on Phoebe were infected first, and
Correct.
then on the Anubis, she was the
Yeah.
first one. Even
Yeah.
there, she wasn't. She was the last one infected there.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
took a while. It took a
Correct.
while before she got infected.
Yeah.
Correct.
She was
Exactly.
definitely not the first, but she was, I think, the first that it couldn't control. She was,
Yeah.
she still retained some sense of individuality.
Yeah.
What breaks my brain is how the protomolecule knows about the hummingbird.
Yeah,
How? Because
and
that
the
there is
sound.
some sort of
Mm,
connection between what Miller is seeing on
Yes.
what's that station? Series.
Series.
yes.
Yeah. And he even saw images of Jolie, like hallucinations of.
Correct.
So does his mind has some kind of link so that the protomolecule is able to lead him to some place? Because maybe then the bird that he saw on series 2 is not real and that's created in his mind. And that
He
is,
has also been hallucinating Julie quite a bit. So
yeah.
what?
Maybe
How
he's not
much of
hallucinating, that maybe the images are
yeah?
placed in his mind by the protomolecule somehow.
That's that's
Hmm.
what I thought. So it seems to have maybe he's infected on some level. How long does the
Yeah.
infection take? I mean, if it stalls showing up in
Hmm.
in an infected person, then maybe he's infected and he just doesn't know it, and no amount of
Yeah.
decontamination will get rid of it.
Or
Hmm.
maybe it's like an interstellar thing where
Yeah.
the protomolecule is is from a future is from a species that sees time as a physical dimension, and
Mm,
then because you know that Miller needs to go to die on Venus with Julie, then you
yeah.
trace the steps back and then lead him towards it.
Could be.
I was going to
Could
use
be.
another interstellar reference also, saying that
This one.
love, Tars, love.
I was, if you guys, I don't know if you guys see or even heard of this. There's a show called Dimension 20, which
Okay.
is just people playing D&D online and the Dungeons and Dragons online. And I just watch it for the story because these people are improv actors and they create the story themselves.
Oh, wow.
Mm,
There, one person is acting as a principal and one person is a student. And the principal asks, "Do you know what's the greatest magic of all?" This one says,
mm.
"Love, friendship." Are you fucking kidding me? It's chronomancy. Chronomancy is the answer. Do you think do you think a mother and a child died on the battlefield because they didn't love each other? No. It's because they didn't have the weapons. It's,
This
magic is
whole
magic, love is
power.
love. Don't
Yeah,
confuse these
this
two.
whole power of love thing won't stand when there's fire and ice and chronomancy and all of these things, and the protomolecule.
Yeah, the protomolecule. Yeah. Because they have this particular element that can easily be called supernatural.
Hmm.
Mhm.
They are allowed to do a lot of things that are outside the bounds of science as we know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And but they do ask those questions that are rising in your mind also. How did this power it? How
Yeah.
did the gravity come? All of that they try to answer. Even that there's a plot hole that I picked, wait, and that was also asked as a question, and I don't know if they got an answer. Yeah. Oh man, so
Till you
Alex
find.
says, yes, yes. Alex says, I was wondering why isn't Rossi trying to dock with Eros, and you can neutralize the bomb by either giving Miller the extra detonator or whatever that is there that he needs by just docking with Eros and doing it, or you could probably dock again and pick Miller up and try to dismantle the bomb there. Why go through all this trouble?
Yeah.
So Alex say plugs that plot hole by saying that, oh, we can't dock with a moving station, moving asteroid like this. Oh, come on, asteroids are always moving; they are never static. When was the
Are they,
last asteroid that you saw which was static and waiting for you to dock? Right, it's always moving.
are they always moving? They are in orbit, I
Yeah,
think.
that is
They are in
moving. Yeah, they're
but not
Eros
in.
revolving.
is
They
erratic. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Eros is
this.
erratic in that sense because it's moving too fast. It's not moving at regular asteroid speeds. It's difficult to gauge how it's moving.
Yeah,
And it's
So
because
all
if
if
that
they
they
are,
match the speed, I'm sure they can dock. I'm not sure
probably,
that's
there was
maybe.
a news couple of years back where a satellite landed on a comet.
yes, it did. Yes.
It was like landing a there was landing a butterfly on a bullet. That kind of analogy they used.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to match the speed. Yes, of course, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
sophisticated. I agree. It's not going to be easy. But I mean, you have mid-air
Yeah.
refueling, right? KC tends to do
yeah,
that all the time. So if that is possible, mid-air refueling is possible. Why
Yeah.
not? Why not docking us? And that's what they do, right? Asteroids they dock on us, and spaceships dock on asteroids all the time. That's what we are led to believe in the Expanse. So I found it
mm,
very hard to believe that they couldn't do it just because it's traveling faster than usual.
Yeah. That makes sense, actually.
yeah.
Yeah. I, I think it might have glossed over some of those details by just saying protomolecule.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. We can't because protomolecule.
Because protomolecule.
No,
That's it.
does it allow us to land? Okay,
It doesn't allow
that
us
does
to.
it.
Yeah. It doesn't.
It doesn't want us. She doesn't want us to get near her, near
Yes.
the. That's
Yes.
the answer.
That's the answer. Protomolecule. The end.
So they go through all this trouble to get a nuclear missile to the seed crystal to detonate when they had like 20 nuclear
Foreheads.
things right out there which could have done the same thing, blast radius.
They
Yeah.
disarmed it.
She can arm it back, come
Yeah,
on.
I don't.
Again, protomolecule. No questions.
Dude.
Yeah,
They had to get nuclear missiles from Earth silos, 150 of them to come here. When they had 10 freaking bombs on that space station right there, they could have detonated it right there.
yeah. I don't know why
There,
they didn't do
switch,
that.
switch. It says don't press that.
Press that.
Press that.
Yeah, because you were going to. Yeah, why didn't they? So stupid.
You're giving us more questions, breaking our
Yeah,
brains.
no, because protomolecule.
Because
Julie wouldn't
protomolecule.
allow
They
it.
had to
You
drag
can't see.
one dysfunctional nuclear bomb all the way into the core just to make him meet Julie when there are
Yeah,
10 bombs lying right out there, and they don't care about Miller's life. Don't give me that thing, okay? They clearly
yeah,
said
they
Miller
don't.
is
Yeah,
disposable. He himself said that I want to die here with Julie.
yeah.
I
But
think we
Miller
said we
needed to
like
have
this
his arc.
episode, no? Yeah, we like this episode, no? Because we have already bashed it kind of.
No, we
We
said nice
bashed the.
things, all that. Those are people
Yeah,
who listen to the first 5 minutes. This are for
yeah.
people who stick on to our
We
episode.
Bharati bashed the things we love, and as we know, love is the answer. So
Yeah, love is the answer. Oh
Love
God, yes.
Tars. It's
Put some
love
hearts
Tars.
on our screen.
that kiss was so creepy. I was
Yeah,
he called a kid like 5 times, and then you go and kiss
I,
her. So it's so
exactly.
weird.
It was so weird. He was talking to her in this paternal fashion, and suddenly
Yeah,
it's like, what? Ew.
so weird.
It was really
But I
weird.
guess, yeah. The "you belong with me." And it was very
That is,
hastened. What?
how did it go from that? She had so much self doubt. She didn't know whether she could control Eros, and suddenly she's like, "Oh, you belong with me."
Yeah. Where
How
did the
did this happen?
confidence come from?
Yeah,
And he clearly says that this is the first, we have never properly introduced, hey, I'm Miller. Oh, by the way, you belong to me.
how
Yeah.
did this happen? Did we miss something?
It's like the Sleeping Beauty thing. Like if I
Yes,
wake you up, then I'm allowed to kiss you. It's
yeah.
that.
And it felt like she had self doubt for too long, and they ran out of time. And now, okay, let's just
Yeah.
change her personality
Yeah.
and
We
make her
have
a
to bomb
princess.
Venus, guys.
Yeah,
We have to
Where
have
did
to
that
bomb
come
Venus.
from?
get get
That's
get to the kissing already. We need to bomb Venus.
yeah,
Julie should have asked at that time, why not Mars? My dad
yeah.
wants to bomb Mars. Let's go bomb
Yeah.
Mars. Let's get it over with. That would have
If
put
she
a
can,
completely different spin on things, if you get my drift.
I mean, why even go to Venus? Like, if you
Yeah.
wanted to stay alive, you
Hmm.
can probably stay alive for forever. Just shoot
Yeah.
out of the solar
Shoot
system. Like,
out,
go.
man.
Yeah,
Why go
yeah,
into Venus?
exactly.
Why Venus? What is this?
You can
Is it
change your
some
trajectory. It's
Yeah,
your
leave
ship.
the
You
solar
can.
system. Exactly.
Miller even
I
says
feel
you can't go home, but you can go anywhere we want. Anywhere we want is code for crash landing on
I
the surface of Venus.
is it something like Venus is the goddess of love and all that kind of thing, and
Ah,
we just missed the
Ah,
whole
there
thing.
we go.
there.
There
That's why.
we, yeah.
Yeah, and so they're showing
Love is
her
the answer to
love
everything.
is the answer for the
Or
rest of the
because men are from
population.
Mars and women are from Venus. So
Venus.
Yes.
that's why the
So
woman
let's
had
crash
needed to
everything
go
into Venus.
onto Venus.
That's why you wouldn't bomb Mars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you can't bomb
you
Mars. Let's
you
bomb
can't
Venus.
let's for Venus. Uh,
No,
we like
even
we
that.
like the episode. We like the
Yeah, we liked it, we liked it. No, I mean, that scene, her expression, she was so full of self-doubt, and suddenly she's
yeah.
slightly cross-eyed, lovey-dovey, and I thought, how did I miss a scene here? I had to go back 10 seconds, but I
I
didn't miss
think
anything.
something was cut. It
Yeah,
felt like something was cut
it felt like
over there.
something was cut. She changed so abruptly. It
Um, she should have done the. I don't know if you guys have seen this Mohabbat. By the way, don't watch it.
another one,
I'll see it.
non-recommendation.
4 hour movie, and
Yeah.
that one of this skimpily clad. I think she's in a swimsuit or whatever. I don't know what she's
One
in.
of the
One
interchangeable
of
items.
the things that happens, and she says lots of things happen, and this heroine comes up and says, "मुझे अपनी बाहों में ले लो."
So it's probably one of my cousins, Shamita Shetty.
Oh boy. I don't know which one it was. Oh man, this is a reveal.
Not my
Yeah,
cousin. I'm just
as
Uh,
we know, everybody with the same surname is
sorry.
related. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
they are all have to be
yeah,
related. Yes.
boy.
I wanted to talk about guys. Please let's talk about Ariel. Right?
Uh,
How unbelievably trashes that speaker phone in that with anger.
yeah,
Finally, he did something worthwhile.
Yeah.
because
He's
it's
so
on his life,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is coming to crash on his on his face.
Science project.
Yeah.
Science project. There were some very infuriating people in that room. While this thing is hurtling towards them, they're trying to analyze it. What could be inside? Maybe it's jam. You never know. But Erin Wright wasn't having any of that. Let's not.
Christian had a good reply to the Vietnamese guy who always
Ah, yes.
wants to bomb Mars. For a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, that guy's hell-bent on
Yeah,
bombing Mars. He should have
Yeah,
been sent instead of Miller.
yeah, he should have been.
he's old enough to kiss her. He needs up to be above 50.
You have to be above 50, yes. And you have to keep calling a kid before doing all of that.
Yeah,
Because that's how it works.
creepy.
Oh man.
It was really creepy.
On
Hmm.
I made a note of this on Rossi. There was a funny scene where they were calculating. They were trying to make sense if it falls under the laws of thermodynamics and 7,000
Mm.
trillion joules, and Amos is trying to calculate something. He couldn't. He gives up.
One, two in my mind, three in my
Then Naomi says, then he's saved.
dude,
That's
this
a-
way
Yeah,
beyond.
yeah, just stop. Please, no more Rosinantes. That's enough.
You could
I like
clearly
this
see.
number.
That's enough.
You
This
could
number was
clearly
good
see,
to me.
Yeah.
you could clearly see his calculator. Two in my
He
mind,
did.
Yeah,
three
yeah.
in my fingers.
That was a really funny scene.
But Amos tries to do something clever, no? So he tries to reason out something. I wrote something nice about him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Where
he
is it?
did something. He figured out.
One thing,
I
don't
forget what he
remember now.
figured out. Like last time, he figured out something. Same thing. Similar type. He tried to figure out here also. Oh man, I didn't write it down.
Okay.
There was another funny scene where Miller says, "Hot
Hot
zone of
zone.
Naomi."
Hot zone,
Yeah.
Naomi.
What? The seed crystal.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah. He's got the best pet ever, a pet nuke. I mean, you can't get any better than that. He has to keep patting it every now and then so it keeps quiet.
He formed a relationship with it.
He did.
He didn't call it the kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
If he would have,
escaped
then he had to
narrowly.
kiss it too.
Kissing it.
That escaped narrowly, his pet.
Yeah.
Ah. So, and it
This-
actually started freezing, huh? That when she touched it. So she says, I
Yeah,
can't
what
feel
is
my
that?
fingers. And when she touches it, it starts freezing, that whole
We
thing.
know the answer, right?
Protomolecule.
Yeah, we do.
Duh.
We have an
Duh.
answer. Yeah, duh.
So easy. It's like everything is
Very
solved.
easy.
Uh,
I mean, we
so-
should actually use this in real life. There's something we can't explain.
Yeah.
Protomolecule.
Protomolecule. Of course. Duh.
Yeah. Why did you train today?
Protomolecules. Obviously.
Yeah.
So this one I noted. The caterpillar calls it the end of the world. Master calls it the end, the butterfly, the start of the butterfly, I guess. Richard Bach is the
Yeah.
person from that. His quote is what I found out. Did you guys know this?
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
know this.
I
I
looked
don't
it
know
up.
the name.
You looked it up too. Okay.
Yeah.
Was a nice one.
That was a very nice touch.
Yeah.
From Illusions, The Adventure of a Reluctant Messiah. And he had one more literary reference, So It Goes, which
Oh,
is from
He did.
which one
Kurt
is it?
Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes,
Where
he
did
knows
he,
he
where,
said that.
who uses this and when?
Fred Johnson.
Oh, Fred Johnson, huh?
Yeah.
I think this is probably the first time we saw everybody kind of tolerate each other, except Mars. They said they
Yeah.
won't interfere, but at least the OPA and Earth found some common ground to try and find Eros
Correct.
Yeah.
because protomolecule. Again,
This
big
So It Goes
unifier.
was also used
Yeah.
in the very first episode.
Oh, wow.
Was it?
Hardcore
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember bringing this up, the Slaughterhouse 5 thing, bringing
Oh, yeah.
that up too. So it
Mhm.
nicely bookends the series. First episode
Yes.
and the last mid-season finale of this is one book.
Mm.
So It Goes.
Yes.
The Slaughterhouse 5
goes,
also
so it
ends
goes.
with So It
So
Goes.
it goes.
I like the Holden's Avasarala back and forth,
Yeah.
even though it is 15-minute lag. I really liked it. And also the delay was reducing because they were hurtling towards the earth. That was
Oh.
an interesting point.
Nice,
15
nice
minutes and
touch.
then 13
Yeah,
minutes.
good point. Good catch, actually.
Even when Avisara was talking to Arjun, there was a
Yeah, the
delay
delay.
because he
Yes,
was
there
on the
was a
moon.
delay.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
there was a delay. That was a very nice scene.
This used to happen in calls between US and India way back. I don't know if it
Oh.
still happens. Of course, we use
Yeah, it used
WhatsApp
to.
these
I
days and
remember
there's
this,
no
yeah.
delay at all.
No delay.
But in the good old days, it used to happen. It
Good
was a
old days.
pain. It was a real pain. You had to keep talking, stop, let the other person speak.
It's
Yeah,
like a
that-
walkie-talkie.
It's exactly like that. Otherwise, it's a mess. You can't have, okay. You can't keep saying that because you're saying
Yeah.
okay for the previous thing.
Yeah.
By the
They're
time they
saying
hear
I
it, it
killed
would be something else.
yeah.
Yeah.
I killed a bunch of puppies. Then you're saying, oh great,
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Way to go, buddy.
way to go. Congratulations. Yeah, I
Say
just have a
after
small
that.
point. Drummer uses two Belter Creole words that I hadn't heard before.
Hmm.
Zelep and Felotus.
Oh, yeah.
Probably both are bad words
Yeah.
don't
Sounds
know.
very suspicious. It sounds really suspicious.
Given bent.
Newcomer's extensive
Yeah.
vocabulary of bad words. I'm probably sure these are swear words only.
Curse words. Okay. Hmm.
I just wanted to say that it seems like the protomolecule is a huge unifier. Somebody should give it the Nobel Peace Prize. Everybody's brought together. They're not fighting.
Yeah. They're not firing at. No, in fact, they wanted to clarify it with Mars saying, "Hey, we're not striking you. We're doing something
Yeah.
else." So
And
that's
Mars was remarkably level-headed. They didn't interfere, but
yeah,
they
yeah. They didn't
they
offer help.
accepted it.
Yeah.
They didn't offer to help, but they accepted it. It takes such a huge threat for these factions to work together. Humanity is doomed, I
Hmm.
think.
Hmm.
Hmm. Chase or cut bait? What does that mean? I mean, I understood the impair, but what are those? Is that chase? I understand, but cut bait is that?
Fishing terms.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
fishing
So
fishing
term.
fish,
reference. Yeah.
Okay.
if the fish is pulling too hard, then you just cut the
Oh,
line
Yep.
and cut the bait.
oh, it's a fishing
Exactly.
metaphor. I mean,
Fishing
whatever
reference.
terms, fishing terms. Okay, I
Yes.
didn't know this cut bait thing. Okay.
When I was also talking to Arjun, coming back to that, he
Mm.
Hmm.
mentions two things: Sinai Battlefront and Palas
Mm.
Oh,
Transport
yeah.
or something. Did you
Hmm.
guys
No,
know
I
what
didn't
they were
know.
talking about?
I have no
I
idea.
no idea. And she also interrupted him and prevented him from going further with those things. She kept interrupting him, so we didn't
Yeah,
hear fully what he wanted to say.
it's clear that he adores her
Mm.
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
her.
does.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Celebrity husband, typical. Mm.
Yeah. She,
Mm.
I think, came across as quite a strong character in that scene because she was holding it all together, all her
Yeah,
feelings, and that
Yeah.
correct.
she was a quintessential captain going down with the ship kind of
Yeah.
mentality she had
She was
at
so
that
good
time.
in this, I didn't even notice the sari this time.
Oh, yeah.
I was
I did notice the choker. It was
oh,
horrendous.
The what? I
The
probably missed
choker.
the
it.
The
choker around
choker.
her neck.
Oh, really? No, I missed that completely. I saw this
Yeah.
peacock thing that she does always on that roof. That I noticed.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh,
peacock
yeah.
thing
The
spread
thing I
on the
noted
roof.
was she watches the Orion, the belt and everything is visible. The constellation
Mm.
Orion is what she
Oh,
looks at. Yeah.
it's
I
that
think
clear.
Holden
Even
also
with
took
20
some.
billion people on the planet, it's that
Yeah.
clear. The
Yeah, yeah,
sky.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
that clear. Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Well,
She's
Orion you
either
can watch.
way high up
Mm.
there or there's something seriously not right.
Yeah.
That you can see all
Ah.
those, stars so clearly with 20. Something doesn't gel quite there. My brain doesn't like it. You have 20 billion people and you can see the stars.
Maybe they're
How?
all in New York. 10
Oh,
billion
Could
in New
be.
York, 10 billion in
Could be.
Tokyo, done.
yeah.
Could be.
We
Yeah.
just see two places, two,
Yeah,
three places on Earth.
I guess that's it. That's all we
I
see
mean,
on Earth.
not even fully. We just see a couple of rooms mostly and some buildings from the distance.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
everybody's over there. I mean, Holden also had to take some really strong decisions. He had to decide whether or not to continue pursuing Eros station. And
Mm.
that was difficult because he was also under the influence of the Jews and the Epstein drive. And he had to really take a call over there to, because if he hadn't taken that call, I don't know what would have happened. I mean, it was a difficult decision, I thought. There was no
Yeah.
saying how it would have played out.
No right or wrong, but he had to make a decision. And it
Yeah.
looked like he didn't want to be in a position of making that decision.
Yeah, yeah,
Both have
yeah.
He doesn't want
grave
it.
consequences.
He just
I
doesn't.
like that scene particularly because Miller is like, okay, guys, I will explain this whole thing to you, and he's taking his own time there. And there, they're
Yeah.
firing out at 15 Gs, and the blood is
Yeah.
coming out from all sorts of places. That that was a horrifying scene for for Holden, but for Miller, it's like, okay, let me take my time. I have a huge bomb attached to me anyway. I have
Yeah.
all the time in the world, and he's patiently explaining to them.
How exactly did he come to this conclusion that Julie is the one controlling Eros Station? It seemed a little bit random. Of course, he can hear her voice,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah,
came,
that
it was too pat. It was just a teleprompter moment again because he just came to this conclusion that Julie is controlling the ship. But I don't think we had much of a precedent for that other than she is missing.
Yeah.
For him to actively tell the crew of the Rocinante that, that she is the one controlling it, seemed very odd
Yeah.
to me. A leap of logic.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can explain it that she's already in his conscience somehow
Could
because
be.
he keeps seeing her everywhere. So he initially dismisses that as hallucination. Even this one, he was going to dismiss it as hallucination, but checks with Naomi and finds that all the vitals are fine, so he's not hallucinating, which probably means it's real. He comes to the conclusion that it's real and is able to hear her.
Yeah. Hers
And
was the
Yeah,
loudest voice he can hear, right? Because there
that's
were
Mm,
true.
other
It
whispers
was the
also.
loudest.
correct.
It was the
And
loudest.
probably understands her psyche very well because he's been in her mind for so long. I mean, even before all of this protomolecule stuff, he's been,
Could be.
literally stalking her, right? Everywhere
Yeah.
she went, all her dating profiles and all the guys that she met and spent time with. He knows her in and out. So probably, I'm just guessing.
But that scene towards the end was a little bit creepy because of his approach to her. He had a very dad like approach. He was calling her
Mm.
kid. He
Mm-mm.
was talking to her in a very soothing, older person kind of way. And then suddenly it went to this kiss. It was the transition.
Yeah, I
It
could have done
was a
with a
little
hug,
creepy.
because
Yeah.
like I'm going to die. Might as well.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. For me, one more creepy aspect of that scene was he is not kissing her, he's kissing the protomolecule. And
Yeah.
that made it
Well,
even
it is
creepier
it
for
is
me.
her, right? It is her.
Yeah,
She
but the
she is
body
still
has,
alive.
yeah.
The body is
No,
hers too, right? It's the original
no,
body.
no, it's
Why
not
not?
the original body. I think this body was created by the protomolecule because her original body was way back somewhere we found in a previous
No, no.
episode. It had
It's
spikes, right? Out of it.
it's there only. It's there in the Blue
It's her
Falcon,
who,
right? Because he says
yeah,
Blue
okay.
Falcon, right? So
But didn't they
he
find
has
the
entered
body?
the
Yeah. But
he
didn't they
entered the
find? Oh,
hotel,
yeah. Right. That's
the Blue
true.
Falcon
That's correct.
hotel, where
Yeah, that's my
That's
Julie was
assumption
her
in the
too.
body
tub.
only.
So it's her body
Yeah.
only, and she was dead according to our biology.
Yeah.
And
Correct. That's the point. That's the point. Yeah.
yeah,
With
But
all
it
of
was
those
just so
pulsating
blowy.
lines
yeah,
there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it reconstructed it and made it look kind of,
in some way, yeah,
yeah. So that gave it that extra creep factor because it's not fully her. It's been reconstituted, and who knows how much of that body is actually the protomolecule. It's been put together. It's been stitched together, and then
Mm.
yeah,
you suddenly go from being this dad-like figure to that.
yeah.
Mm.
Hard to, yeah, it was a little hard to watch that.
Mm.
Also, why wasn't it interacting with dead people? It's leaving they're dead alone, right? The
Yeah,
protomolecule
Mm.
that's what Miller observes.
is
Because there's no
Is it not?
what does it
conscience or
Yeah.
consciousness to attach
consciousness?
to attach
What
to.
Oh
was it
yeah,
doing exactly? Because it seemed like there were so many voices that he was hearing. Was it uploading all of those consciousness? I mean, those
maybe
personalities onto
maybe
Eros,
all
and
of them are still
yeah,
alive then,
Mm.
in some
in some
form.
way.
In
Yeah,
some
Mm,
form.
yeah.
Who said that? What does death mean to the protomolecule? Does he say that? I think he says
yeah,
that.
yeah. He says it.
So apparently it has a way of extending consciousness beyond death, and it's uploading
Yeah,
all of these too. But
it doesn't.
Julie's was, yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't understand what the dead are because there
yeah,
is no consciousness, and maybe it's just trying to accumulate servers and
It's a
CPUs.
dream world,
right.
Neo.
Okay, I'm going to gif this and put Morpheus's face.
Yes, you should. Please do that again.
It's a dream world, Neo. Wrapped over you to hide you from the truth.
Anyway,
You may
these are
have
like,
spent the last few years looking for me. I spent my entire life looking for you.
I'll do Keanu Reeves. Oh,
Feel free to morph.
yeah,
And if anybody asks us protomolecule, we have the
yeah,
answers.
it's
We have all the
protomolecule.
answers. So we have
Yeah,
figured out the secrets of the universe. It's a protomolecule.
it's a
That's it.
protomolecule.
Oh.
Yeah, fun episode
Ganymede
to
Jinn.
discuss
Nobody's
too.
talking about Ganymede Jinn.
I think that's the length of discussion it deserves.
Yes, exactly.
We need one scene where people drink, so they got So we got one at the end, yes.
My God, that was a change of personality because in the previous one they were so upset that Miller might die with the nuke, and here they're just
Yeah.
drinking merrily. He's dead. Let's
He's
drink.
dead.
Yay!
Let's drink.
Let's drink.
Yeah. Because the facts didn't change from the last episode to this
It
episode.
didn't. It did. Yeah, it didn't.
Because what they feared happened, but they were involved in this.
Yes, and now
In his
he,
death.
they're just still
Yeah.
drinking.
In the previous one, at least it was accidental. His death would have been accidental.
Yeah,
They were
but now
actively
it's
involved
like
in
That's
pushing.
the arc, right? So the whole episode starts with Miller begging them, guys, is there an escape plan? Am I going to be, picked up?
Uh,
And at the end, he's like, okay, guy, go blast into Venus.
yeah.
and again, why Venus? Is it the name? Just the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have chosen Mercury or
I
the
mean,
other
why didn't
way.
he just
Actually,
go to
the
the sun?
gaseous planets would have worked well also, right?
No, I mean, why didn't he just stick to the original plan and make it go into the sun? That was what they wanted to use that poor little old Nauvoo for.
Yeah,
And
why is
the
Venus now? Yeah,
why
suddenly.
Venus?
No, he didn't. Okay, he influenced her decision to go to Venus. But I'm
Yes.
just saying, why even Venus? Just
Yeah.
fly off,
God.
keep
Again,
kissing
power of
till the
love.
end of time. Nobody,
Yeah.
I think you guys are immortals anyway. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Take it out of the solar system. Take it
Yeah, the
into Alpha
nuke is not
Centauri or something. Yeah.
doing anything. And
You probably.
if you are not being controlled by the protomolecule, you are the protomolecule,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and it's obeying you. So you can do literally anything in the
Anything.
universe
You could do
except go to
anything.
Earth.
Yes.
You didn't
So
have
why
to
didn't
go and die on Venus.
you? You could have just taken it into the next solar system, had a nice drifting
Yeah.
life over there. Why did you want to go into Venus?
But they talk about something, the work has to continue, right? So
I
there's
think the kiss
something.
was that bad.
It was. It was so bad.
Yeah. So the Ganymede Jinn scene, I noticed that the music was very similar to the Interstellar music. You
Oh,
guys should listen to that. Sounds exactly like that.
that dun, 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 dun.
Something like
That
that.
music.
Yeah, that one.
They were planning to take it into the sun, and then you decide to take it into Venus. Why didn't they just continue into the sun? That would have taken care of it a lot better. But then
But it's too hot there.
Venus, as we know, is
Venus is
only
a very
about.
chill place.
It's a
Venus
very
chilled out.
chill,
It's only
cool
500
place.
degrees C, but
Yeah,
sun's
500
10,000
degrees.
degrees. Sun is
Yeah,
10,000 degrees C.
you
So
can't survive that. Venus,
yeah,
of course, you can live.
you can still somehow work
Picnic
it
spot.
out.
Yeah,
Because the plot needs to happen. That's the reason.
the plot. Protomolecule
Plot
again.
and the protomolecule.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
because how will the rest of the books and the rest of the series come out?
Yeah. Maybe what Bala said has a point. Maybe the protomolecule actually influenced him to take it into a cooler place and not the sun. If it had
Yeah,
gotten to the sun, maybe it would
yeah,
have gotten completely destroyed. So
yeah.
maybe
Because
Bala
it
has a
wants
point there.
to
Venus is right.
spread some,
Yeah.
or it wants to
Yeah.
The
propagate in
work.
some way, shape, or form. The work,
Mm.
yeah.
Yes.
The
It
work.
wants to. So maybe Venus is a cooler spot. You can arrest its growth for now, but it can still continue whatever it wants to do.
Mm.
The sun would probably destroy it completely. So it influenced him, maybe.
It needs some kind of electric source to,
Mm.
or it's attracted to a power
Energy,
source or
energy
something.
source. Yeah,
Yeah,
energy
it does
source.
need
Yeah.
So
energy source.
being
Venus
closer
is
to the
pretty
sun
hot for
works,
that.
right?
Yeah.
It is very hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it was fun to watch. I
Yep.
must
really
admit.
fun episode.
Yeah. I
Very
didn't
fun.
even feel like 45 minutes had gone past.
And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it should have been a season finale. It should have had
Yes,
It
a
should have
absolutely. That was
been.
my
It should
first
have
thought.
been.
When the episode ended, I said like this is perfect season one ending.
It should have been really because it
Yeah,
was so dramatic.
correct.
And
yeah.
yeah,
Because
and
the ending, the 9-10 episode, which was considered as one
uh,
big finale, it
yeah,
wasn't really an ending. It was
it
just
wasn't.
them
Yeah.
escaping Eros.
Correct.
This
Exactly.
at least gave Miller also some closure because his obsession is at an end. He came to the end of it. He
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
found some
his
sort of
his
resolution.
story,
Yeah,
his and
it's
Hmm.
Julie's
over.
story. It gave a
So it
complete
would have made a
conclusion to it. Yeah.
fantastic
Because the
season finale.
pilot started with Julie's story. It has to end
Yeah,
with Julie's
Yeah.
story ending. So that would have made a lot of sense. I think we are done. Remember the Cant. Or
So
else.
it always comes up so abruptly.
Completely abruptly. And we have to be congratulated. We're almost always forgetting the Cant at the beginning. So
Yeah. We should congratulate ourselves. We have done 16 episodes.
Oh,
yes,
No,
really? This is
15,
16th?
15 episodes. 15
15th
episodes.
yeah.
episode, yes.
The 9th and 10th we also combined.
Yes, yes. Okay. Bye,
Okay.
Beratnas.
I remember the
Bye.
Cant.
Or else.